You pick in Palisade, Colorado. Um, this was a very weedy hayfield 4 years ago, and we hand cleaned it. Removed all the big stones, all the alfalfa roots, all the big clumps of grass, and we don't use pesticides or herbicides in the fields. And so as a result, um, everything is done mechanically with a hoe or a rototiller to keep it weed free. And it's not weed free, but it's pretty close. Except for areas that I haven't gotten to. So we grow a variety of things, and people come out and pick what they want, and kind of go from there.
What all do you grow that people can pick?
We have 27 kinds of tomatoes, 37 kinds of peppers, 9 kinds of watermelons, 3 kinds of cantaloupes, 7 kinds of onions, 5 kinds of garlic, though I just harvested the garlic today so it can dry. I think what else? We'll have 11 kinds of pumpkins, 3 kinds of cantaloupes, 5 kinds of winter squash, 5 kinds of raspberries. We had 7 kinds of strawberries in the spring, 2 kinds of asparagus. So just a little bit of everything. We don't have massive quantities because we've only got 5 acres, but for folks who just want something for a meal, it's one of those things that they can swing by and pick something up. We grow primarily, I shouldn't say primarily, a lot of what we grow are heirloom seeds. So most of the watermelons are heirlooms. So like we grow the moon and stars, which are very popular, and black diamonds, which people can't find anywhere else in the valley. So, but in fact, we expand a little bit. So down in that southeast corner is where the watermelons are at. But my neighbors gave me this field across the street. So to grow more, because last year we sold about 10 tons of watermelons. So as a result, we're going to try to grow, because we ran out. We couldn't grow enough of what people wanted. So we're going to try to grow a few more this year. We'll see. But everything this year was late. We just got everything planted late, except the lavender. The lavender came early. Don't ask me why or how, but it did. We got 2 kinds of sunflowers. I see those growing down there. So just a wide variety of things. Does that answer your questions? Or?
How about talk about the lavender?
Well, we've got 16 varieties. We're in a trial with CSU, and so this year we were part of the distilling project, and so the flowers were harvested at a stage that they have maximum oil supposedly in their things, and then Dr. Swift distilled it. We did 4 batches of each variety and separated the oil from the hydrosols. And then those oils will be sent to CSU sometime in early August and be run through a gas chromatograph so that we know the exact chemical composition of our oils. Because there's what I call a myth out there that says lavender grown at high altitude is superior to lavender grown at low altitude. And we hope to prove that so that we can say Palisade or Paonia lavender is just like a Palisade peach, can't be beat anywhere in the world. And they did a study using a gas chromatograph in Kashmir, India, and they actually tested better than the finest French oils. So we are hopeful that the same will be true here. We also are trying to prove that you can grow lavender using furrow irrigation instead of using drip. We don't use weed barrier cloth because we didn't know what we'd do with it in 10 to 15 years when it broke down, except put it in landfill, and we didn't want to do that. So it takes me about 5 hours a month to keep this pretty weed free. So that's kind of what we do. By using the furrow irrigation, I've watered twice since January. And that's all the water, and I think the plants look pretty healthy. So, and it's getting to a point where I probably need to water again. Last year, which we had a very hot summer, I watered 5 times, from the time the water came in the canal to right before it went out. And they get a good watering right before the water goes out of the canal, and then they don't get another drink of water from me until the water comes back in the canal. So what Mother Nature gives them in snow and rain is all they survive on. But they're a desert plant. And so my theory is most desert plants that I see, they're used to getting water in a big rainstorm, and then it's dry for a long time. And then they get a big rainstorm, and they survive, and and this is a desert plant. So to my way of thinking, I'm just putting the rainstorm in the creases, and they get watered. But I can at least measure the content, and we water based upon the moisture in the soil. When the soil dries out, then they get a drink. And that way they're not unduly stressed, but they're a little stressed because Dr. Scavarda said that the finest grades of oils come from plants that are slightly stressed. And John Barbier, who owns the winery just down the road here, he is from Provence, France, and he says it's illegal to water lavender in Provence once the field is established. And he says they don't get much more rain than we get here. So, but then he grows very dry wines because he's French. And so it's part of our experiment. If it all dies, then we'll plow it under and plant more watermelons. So, but so far it seems to be doing pretty well.